Hey everyone, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and I am showing you a solo playthrough of Rallyman GT. No disclaimer needed for this one. Quite honestly, I was looking at the Rallyman Dirt Kickstarter and trying to figure out if I wanted to buy into it, so I wanted to play the base game and bought myself a copy. And this is going to be a 2-for-1 deal. I'm first going to show you the official solo mode, which is just a single car doing a time trial, but then I'm going to show you one of the fan-made variants that puts AI cars in the mix. In this case, I'm going to show you the DrWorm variant. I'll put a link in the video notes, and I asked if I could use this, and he said it was fine. But for now, let's quickly talk about setting up the game and playing the official solo time trial. But if you want to skip past setup and how to play, or want to skip straight to the AI cars, just use the timestamps to get to any of that. And if you like what you see here at the One Stop Co-op Shop, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell icon or you won't actually get any notifications. Join the conversation on our Slack or Discord channel. Listen to our podcast each Sunday. And if you'd like to get some nice perks, consider supporting us on Patreon. So the key thing for setup is building a track. And they have a bunch in the rulebook, but the people who are making this new version of the game have also been putting up new tracks online, and there are fan-made ones, and you can just build your own if you want. I will note, though, in a slightly frustrating thing, the tiles listed here do not perfectly correspond to the ones here, so I had to do a bit of trial and error to actually build the course in front of you. You also need to get your materials ready for your car. You have these little gear tokens here that mark what gear you're in. Your car itself, your dashboard, I'm using a regular one in sunny weather. And the number of dice indicated. I've got 3 red brake dice, 2 white coast dice, and 1 through 6 gear dice. I also have the damage tokens all shuffled in the bag that comes with the game. And I have my focus tokens ready to go. More on that in a moment. And finally, a key thing for the time trial solo mode, which is also very important in the new Dirt version of the game, is you have to track what speed you're in at the end of each round. Now, they have an official sheet you can write it on, but one of the things I'm really excited for in Dirt is that they're going to have cards you can use to keep track of it. But for my purposes, since it tends to go from 1 to 6, I just have a bunch of little d6 dice. I'm going to make a row of them, and that'll help us total up our time at the end. And last step, perhaps most important, let's get in pole position and begin our time trial. Alright, so let's go through the basics of driving in Rallyman GT. As I already noted, you have all of these dice available to you, although it can change based on your car. Only the GT6 comes with the base game. And the basic rule is, at least for white and black gear dice, it's 1 die per space to move. And the rule is whatever gear you're currently in, so right now I'm in gear 0, you can only go up or down from there. So I could do first gear here to move into that space, and then I can go into second, and then into third, and then into fourth, but I can't use a die again, so I couldn't go back down to third here, for example, because the third die is already in use. But you've also got these coast dice, which basically keep you in the same gear you were last in. So here I would be in 4th gear. And then a key thing of any driving game, you'll have curves. And if you look at this tile here, it's a bit more complicated than the average curve, but it gives you some of the key details. So this is the maximum space you can be in entering this curve. I can't come in here in 6th gear. And this one means if I enter in 5th gear, I get one of these little caution symbols, which might make it more likely that I'll crash. And also this says specifically, if I come in from this lane, I can only be in 4th gear, same thing going out through that lane if I cross that exact line as I move. So to continue our example, I could go in here, and I haven't shown this yet, but you can move diagonally as much as you want, changing lanes. And then with the hay, I could go 5th and 6th. This is a pretty fast beginning. Now, once you've placed all the dice you want to place, you then make a choice to either roll each die one by one, and you're trying to avoid these little caution symbols here, or I can take a chance and roll them all at once, just marking where I'm going to end my turn with a gear token. Now, in the first round, it doesn't matter because I don't have any focus tokens to help me if I crash anyway. But the reason to roll all your dice at once, which is called going flat out, is that you get a focus token for each of the dice you rolled, except for red brake dice. And that's even if you crash, you still get those tokens. Now, why do you want these tokens? Number 1, they're worth -1 second from your time in the solo time trial mode. But number 2, they do give you some control over possibly crashing when you are rolling your dice one by one. Because let's say that I rolled this one first and I was fine, and this one I was fine, but then, ooh, I got a caution on that one, and ooh, I got one on there. And if I look at my dashboard, 3 is when I lose control of my car. I could then pay 1 token for the first die and choose, I'm not going to roll that. Then I have to pay 2 for the second one in the same round, 3 for the third one, 4 for the fourth one, and so on and so on. But I could spend a bunch of my focus losing those free seconds, but ensuring that I can get where I wanted to move and I don't crash. Now let's show you one more example, this time using the break dice. So let's say I'm here in 5th gear. Not a great place to be because this is a 2-gear maximum turn. Normally starting in 5th gear, I could only either continue in 5th, go up to 6th, or go down to 4th. But for each break die you also place in the space, you can skip 1 gear. So for example, to get down to 2nd gear, I'd have to skip 3rd and 4th, so I could do that. Now you're rolling all 3 of those dice to see if you lose control, so breaking a lot can be bad for your health. But that would allow me to then shunt through the turn really quickly. And, I could even do that kind of thing. And boom, go into fast speed. Finally, if you do have a loss of control, you see what gear you were in when you lost control. If it's 1 or 2, you basically just go down to 0 gear, but you get to start back up the next turn. If it's 3, 4, 5, or 6, though, you got to check the danger level of the tile you were on. Each of them has these little flags to show that. And that'll show you how many damage tokens you draw that can affect the dice you can use and stuff. And you also get a double 0, and both of these are terrible for your time, by the way, but a double 0 means you basically miss an entire turn just turning your car around before you can start in 0 gear again. Let's not let that happen. Alright, those are the basics of the game. Let's go to time trial, and then don't forget there will be a second playthrough showing AI cars. So we are starting in 0 gear, and this is a very flat-out, easy place to go fast. We really just want to ask ourselves how many dice we want to roll and risk losing control. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4th gear. We can go up to 5th. If we're in that middle lane, we can cut past the danger for 5th and go right there. And right back here to miss that required 4th gear facing. Now we could even go all the way up to 6th gear. That would shave off a little more time because the higher your gear at the end of each round, the less your time takes. But then we'd have to brake like crazy to get down to 2nd gear here. So let's stop in 5th. No brake dice, so this isn't a crazy speed to end at. I'm going to mark my final space with 5th gear. And again, there's no point in not going flat out your first round because you don't have any focus tokens to mitigate anyway. And I'm fine. No cautions rolled at all. And since I've used 7 dice, I get 7 focus tokens for next time. And again, I'm just going to put a little 5 die here to mark where I ended my gear in first round. Alright, so I got to get down to 2nd gear. And I want to break straight to it to leave myself the other gears to play with. So let's go straight down to 2nd, skipping 3rd and 4th. Then let's coast our way through the safe face of the turn, not going into that 1 lane. Then up to 3rd, up to 4th. And yeah, I think 5th is as high as I want to go again. And it's early to use focus, but all those break dice are making me a little bit scared. So let's roll 1 at a time. So I do the first space. Ah, beautiful, no caution. And by the way, if I wanted to spend focus, I would have to spend it for all 3 of these dice at once to stop for myself from rolling them. And that would be, remember, 1, and then 2, and then 3. That would cost me 6 focus by itself. Okay, then the white, fine. The other white, fine. 3rd gear, uh-oh. 4th gear, okay, I could have spent a focus before that. You make a choice before each die, but here I'm totally safe. 2 doesn't matter because I didn't gain any from the road itself. So I'm ending here in 5th gear. I might regret ending in 5th here because I got a series of turns to navigate here. I think I'm going to live a little dangerously and go straight down to 1st gear. That's 3 break dice. You can't even see the die on top. Then go into 2nd, coast out of there, coast again, go to 3rd, and then kick it up here for 4th. All right, so I got by both those curves, and I'm ready to brake again to go into this gear 1 turn. And what the hey, let's live dangerously. I do want to get those focus tokens. Awesome, just 1, love it. So the brakes don't count, so that's minus 6, so 6 more focus tokens. And ended in 4th this time. Ooh, there we go. Now this one's really interesting. We got 1st gear here, 1st gear here, but then a pretty long straightaway in between, so I really want to burst out of here. Now I'm not crossing the one that has an automatic hazard here, so let's see, 4th, I gotta skip 3rd and 2nd to 1st. Then I can come right back out into 2nd, accelerate to 3rd, accelerate to 4th, accelerate to 5th, and then brake like crazy down to 1st gear. Let's do it. I'm going to try rolling them all again, probably unwise. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I make it over here in 5th gear. That was 5 more focus, but I think I'm going to have to take it a little safer from now on. All right, fifth to first. Yikes, I got to use all the brakes again. And then I'll go into second. On this, you'll see some spaces cover 2 spaces, so they kind of let you jump ahead a bit. And oh, that's a second gear turn. This is going to work out great. I will coast right into that, avoiding the hazard symbols. Coast out in third. Oh man, how far do I want to push this? I could go fourth. Oh, but I can't go any farther because I can't accelerate to fifth with that being a 4 maximum turn. So we'll stop there. All right, but I'll definitely roll one at a time. I'm not going to spend the crazy amount of focus it would take to just automatically make this pass. So I got 1 caution to worry about. Don't need to start kind of stopping and spending focus until you get your second. Oh, okay, so I will spend 1 focus to never re-roll that 4. So I am safe to come right in there. And I'm on the tail end of the track. The challenging thing is I've set myself up. Man, I wish I could have gotten into that turn. Because now I have to get into this 1 turn and then go as fast as I can at the end. All right, so here's what I think is the best I can do. I can do fourth, coast, coast. Brake twice, skipping down to 1. And then I still have 2 and 3 available. Now I can't go up to 4, 5, 6 because 4th is already in use, so I can't skip around to 5, so that's the best I can do. And this really isn't that dangerous of a round. Oh, man. Okay, I think I'm just going to roll it. So I'll put the 3 there to mark it. Don't destroy me right at the end. Okay, 2. I am fine. So whoosh, there we go, into third gear. All right, you have to actually cross the finish line. So let's see, I think 2, 3, 4, and you'll see going down from 3 to 2 actually gives me more room to play with. 5, 6, oh wait! Ha! Okay, so darn, you know what I'm going to have to do? I'm going to have to brake down to first, and then all of these can go forward 1, and I'll cross the finish line. I'm definitely going to do this 1 at a time, because can't afford to crash here. All right. Good, fine on those. Oh, got my first. Good, 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 good. Okay, now I am safe. Even if this one, I'm good. So I crossed the finish line in 6th gear. Here we've got my time dice plus my remaining focus. And they have a chart to show what each gear is worth. So I've got them all laid out. So I've got 30 seconds, 50, 70... plus 45, so that's 115. Plus 10, 125, so that's 2 minutes, 5 seconds. And I've got 17 focus tokens, so that'd be 148, which is a pretty great time. Although I really pushed it some of those turns, I could have crashed easily. But hey, I promised you 2 playthroughs, and that was only 1. But this time we're going to throw in some extra cards with the fan-made variant by DrWorm on BGG. And how it works is he's got 4 levels of opposing cards. We're going to have 1 of each just to vary it up. And there's a lot of rules here, but it's pretty simple. You roll the indicated number of dice. White and red dice only serve to possibly make them crash more often. But black dice are how far they'll actually move forward. So generally speaking, all 3 of these will move 5 spaces unless something bad happens, and the red car will move 6. I'll go into more details than that in a second, but for now let's just set up and see how things go. Now this is my personal favorite way to play this way. I like overtaking people even if I don't win. So I have them in ascending order of difficulty. Green is first, but he's the worst, and red is best, but he's last, except for me, of course. And by the way, as we go, I'll explain some of the details of multiplayer rules, including how you have to overtake another car, but let's just jump in. So first, the order of when cars go. The first tiebreaker is their current gear. We're all in 0, so that's easy. Second is further along the track, but green and yellow are tied, so then next is who is closer to the inside of the upcoming curve, which is going to be green. So green's little dashboard here shows 5 gear dice. You use 1 through 5. You don't use 6 for them at all, plus 2 white dice. I'm going to roll them all. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. So green had a rough start, but at least we'll get to see how this works. So the white dice are just there to potentially get the caution symbol, so we'll put them to the side. And green will stop moving when they reach 3 cautions and will lose control when they reach 4. So what you do is you basically just lay the dice out in ascending order, no matter what gear they started at. And the second they get to their 3rd caution, that's where they're going to stop. So green's only going to go to the 3rd space here. And they always try to go as fast as possible, and then they stay towards the inside when they can. So green will end there. And to calculate their final gear, basically they go up 1 gear for each space they move, but then the second they get to a curve that would limit their speed, they automatically switch down to that gear magically. They never have to worry about braking or anything. So I'll go ahead and put a 3rd gear for green, because he's also limited by the highest gear die he used. He didn't crash, but a weak start. Alright, yellow is next. He's only got 1 white die. What is going on? This is the ugliest beginning of a race I've ever seen. Alright, so yellow. Actually, this one isn't going to really matter much. He'll go 1, 2, 3. Now, big rule for multiplayer. You can only move next to another car if your gear is as high or higher than theirs. So in this case, doesn't matter, but could in other cases. 4th, 5th, so they would stop there, but they would have stopped anyway. They didn't get 4 to actually crash, so that didn't hurt them at all. And because they continually accelerate until they have to stop, yellow's at 5th gear right there. Next is orange, just 5 dice. Totally fine. You don't really have to lay them out. You can just do 5 movement. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They want to be on the inside. And also in 5th gear, none of these ones will ever get to 6, but red can. And finally, red gets to roll all 6 gear dice. So they're going to move 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they're in 6th gear, so unless I overtake them on the outside there, they will be going first next round. And I'm far back. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, I could overtake him right off the bat. And yeah, that's just a 5th degree turn, so that's okay. Although, you know what? He's closer to the inside, so he'll still be going first. But yeah, might as well try it. Remember, no point in rolling one at a time. On your first, awesome. So I slide in to say hi, and I'm getting 7 focus tokens. I'm not keeping track of time anymore, but they still can be used to mitigate my luck. And by the way, you might be wondering, how do you keep track of who's moved? They've got this little token. You just switch. So now we're going into a white round, which means whenever somebody moves, I'll just flip their ending gear token to its white side to show they've gone. All right, so we go first in gear order. Me and red are in 6th. But red is closer to the inside, so they're going first. Remember, this is straight up 6 dice. Totally safe, so they'll move 6 spaces. And they always try to avoid the hazards that could slow them down. So they'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, there. 5, 6. Now, what gear is he ending in? He would have been up to 6th gear, but then he automatically goes down to 2 here. 1 more than 2, he'll be in 3rd gear. And we'll put it on the white side. Ooh, and actually, he would have gone to the outside here because that's a shorter lane. All right, I can live a little dangerously to get next to him. This is probably a terrible idea. So I can go to 5th gear, but that's going to give me an automatic hazard symbol. Then I can go to 4th. Coast. Coast. Now here's the kind of dumb part. I can brake straight to 2nd, leaving me free to go up to 3rd and at least get next to him again. And what the heck, I'm going to try to build up some focus, so let's go for one more dangerous turn, then I can be safe for later. No! Oh, that's right, because I got an extra one from going there. Oh, hey, this is good. At least you get to see a loss of control. So how this works is I'm allowed to lay out my dice in any way that makes sense, which can control how far I eventually end up. Yeah, you know, 3rd in orange or yellow isn't going to matter. Either way, I'm still going to not take any damage. So I'll just use all my dice, since my last one will be the 3rd one. And I'm crashing over here in 0, 0 gear. I'm going to miss like 2 turns, basically. But on yellow or orange tiles, I would not take any damage. But hey, at least I get 6 focus, right? Maybe? Alright, yellow's in 5th and further ahead. Has 1 white die. Okay, and they're fine. Now, they always want to avoid the hazard spaces, so they'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they clearly have to be in 2nd gear, since that's the exact gear they would enter in. Orange. Totally fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they'll be in 5th gear, and whoops, let's actually make them smarter than that. They would clearly not end where they couldn't even get past. Finally, green. Okay, also fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they'll also be in 5th gear. All right, we're switching to a black turn, and this will be ugly for me because they are all going to go way ahead. Red. Totally fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow. In 3rd gear again. Now, orange will actually jump ahead of yellow here. No danger, so just 5 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I guess they'd want to be there so they don't have to slow down too much. And would accelerate to 5th gear again. Green would actually be next since they're not in the curve. And they got 2, but still safe. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's see, they're only 2 out of a 2 turn. So they'll actually be in 4th gear. And finally, yellow's the last one to pass my smoking husk. Oh, this is good. Yellow will slow down a little bit. They only got 3, so they won't crash. But their last one was on their 4th gear, so they never move a 5th space. So they'll cut over to the bigger lane. 1, 2, 3, 4. And they'll be in 2nd gear again. Meanwhile, I just go, hello, and come out in 0 gear, ready to make the long task of trying to pass any of these guys. All right, now we're switching to everyone being on white gears when they move, or maybe that's supposed to be the opposite, I forget. Okay, orange is first, safe. 3, 4, 5, ending in 3rd gear. Next highest gear is green. Fine. And I guess they'd want to be there to be able to cut the better speed. And they're 2 out of a 2 turns. They'll go up to 4th gear. And by the way, I picked this course specifically for this. You'll see that it's 3 lanes for the beginning of the race, and then cuts down to 2 for the really tough middle of the race, which I thought would just make the pack ridiculous. Okay, red is next with 6 gears. Oh, they actually got close to stopping early. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you jerk. And gear-wise, let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5th gear. As for yellow back there, safe. 1, 2, 3, has to. 4, I guess, 5, down to 1st gear. And finally, whoever the heck this guy is. Let's see. 1, 2, geez, I guess coast, coast. And then 3. Ooh, actually, this might work out okay. I can get next to green in 4th. I'm going to have to brake really hard, but I probably want to anyway. Yeah, I mean, it'll let me cut past green, but I don't know if that'll work out too well for me. Whatever, let's go for it. And clearly I have to make it some time, so we're not going to use focus. Wow, that was still closer than I wanted it to be. I'm sliding in here in 4th gear. I'm getting, what is it, 6 more focus. All right, well, I'm not worrying much about catching red, but I'll try to beat the rest of these guys. Okay, red. Ooh. Unfortunately, their 6th gear is where they got the 3rd thing, so they'll stop when they move their 6th space, but that doesn't matter. So 1, 2, 3, 4, let's see, 5, 6. Yeah, this can get a little silly when they get ahead of you. He'll end in 4th gear, 2 out of a 2 turn. But that's okay, because I am up next. I'm in 4th gear and on the inside of the turn compared to green. But here's where things aren't going to work out great for me. I got to brake twice because I'm going over a 2 max gear symbol. Now let's try to get a little nasty with things here. I'll scoot out here since I'm going there. I don't have to abide by the 2 minimum. I'm going to use my final brake into 1 and coast. Oh, that seems kind of dumb, right? Yeah, I can be a lot safer and just go straight to 1, coast twice. Yes, I'll be in 1st gear, but I'm forcing them to use the double hazard symbol for all the cars behind, and yellow has to take 1 of them, so they... Or, no, I guess I'm not forcing them to, because they can just come diagonally. So you know what? I am going to do my crazy plan. Go up to 3rd, brake to 1st, coast twice, and now... I think... Well, I guess they'll have to either go the long way or go over the hazards. So either way, it might work out well for me. This one I will go one at a time because I have a lot of focus. Okay, so I got 1. Good. Okay, let's spend 3 focus to not roll either of those just to be safe because I could get a double on it. And I'm fine. All right, so I do make it there. Only in 1st gear, so I'm sure they'll pass me, but at least I got somewhere. Okay, next is green. And only 1 hazard, so I think he'll be fine, yeah. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll be in 2nd gear, able to zoom past me since he's 1 out of a 1st gear turn. But now we blocked everything up, so that's good at least. Okay, orange is next. Got 2, but again, doesn't have to use those yet because yellow's in the way. I forgot about that. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then stop. And has to be in 1st gear since that's the turn. And then since yellow can't make any progress, they can just say they're going into 1st gear and it won't matter much. So actually, I did pass everybody except green. I'm feeling great about that. Red, he's not even in the race, right? He doesn't matter. But hey, speaking of that show-off, come on, all hazards, crash, or not. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He'll be finishing the race in like 2 seconds. He is ending in 3rd gear, 2 out of a 1 turn. All right, but the pack of real racers. Green does go first, but I'm glad it's him since he's my weakest competition. 2 hazards, but not enough. So he just moves 5. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He gets that long lane, the jerk. And he's coming out in 2nd gear again. Oh man, you know what's not good? That's a 1 turn, which means like, you know, if I did like 2, I have to go back down to 1 and then, I don't know what, coast into it a bit? No, we're not doing that. We want to pass these guys. So I think it makes more sense to go 2, 3, and actually take the long way. Go 4, 5. Because then if they're only moving 5 or so, I guess they'll get into the turn. No, I think they'll both get into the turn. So no, that won't work. All right, so let's keep it simple. We'll go 2, then down to 1, coast, just be done with it. So might as well get focused, because that doesn't look very dangerous. Yep, we get 4 tokens. And we're back in 1st gear, didn't want to be there. All right, so yellow is next. I think he's going to block orange, which I enjoy. He's got 2 hazards, not enough. So 1, 2, 3, 4, yep, 5. And he's also in 1st gear. Okay, so it's not as bad as I thought. And then orange is going to stop behind him unless he rolls to... Oh! That is a loss of control! Orange, what were you doing? So we resolve it in order. He would go 1, 2, 3. He stops. And then because it's 4, he loses control. That is a red tile. Not good for you, buddy. Okay, so red 4, 4. He's taking 2 damage and going down to 0, 0. Yikes. All right, well, I guess it's going to be a 3-car race between us. We draw 2 damage. The green has no effect. That's just a go-ahead. But -1 gear dice. That means now orange will roll 4 gear dice every turn instead of 5. So yeah, he's out of it. But you know who's not out of it? This jerk over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, he'll cross the finish line next turn. He's in 6th gear, of course. Green is next. I got to catch this guy. I didn't get 3 hazards. He's not going to go over that one. He'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess going into 4th gear. Okay, I'm ahead of yellow, so I'm next. Now, let's see if I can make something happen. Go into 1st gear. 2nd. Coast. Coast. Ah, man, if I go into 4th, I gotta take a hazard. It's okay. It's okay. I got a lot of focus. Let's go 4th. That'll be an automatic hazard. Let's go 5th and pass him. All right, so definitely going to roll 1 at a time and use focus if I need to. Safe. Oh, there's 1 hazard. Okay. Nice. All right, so I'm safe. Yes, okay. So I passed him in 5th gear. Awesome. Okay, back to our slower friends. Yellow, how you doing? Okay, 2 hazards. They're all right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in 3rd gear. Orange, it sucks, doesn't it? I've been there. Finally, in a freak accident, red bursts into fire. No, just kidding, he's fine. Okay, so red got 1st place. Good for you. Skip 3 gears with brakes and go down to 1st gear. Coast through that turn. Then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can I survive it? You know what I think will help a lot? I'm going to pay to not roll any of those, I think. So that's 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4. So that's 10 all by itself. But I've got it. But don't forget, if I need to not roll another one, I'll have to pay 5 for the next one. So those are all fine. Uh-oh, that's not a good start. That's fine. Fine. Oh, gosh, 2. Crud, crud, crud. I've got enough to pay for 1 more, but not 2. All right, come on. Safe. Come on, come on. No! Alright, so I'm clearly going off the road here. Should have been a little less greedy. Let's see, that's a yellow space in 5th gear. So I'm just taking 1 damage token. Oh! So this is literally the best result I could have gotten because now no one can overtake another car or move alongside it until I've taken my first move. So that might be enough to save me all by itself. See how green does? Oh, they are stopping on their 4th move. So they'll go 1, 2, 3, 4 in second gear. Yellow is fine. Let's move in 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in first gear. And hey, orange, how are you? Only rolling 4 dice. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Totally in the race. And they're in third gear, by the way, which means that orange is actually first now. They're fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4 in fourth gear. Green is next. Okay, not enough to stop them. They're going 1, 2, 3. Then they can't pass me yet. Well, let's see, that would leave them in third, fourth, fifth gear. Okay, and then yellow, also fine. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, and that'll leave them in fourth gear. And then I come back on the track. All right, so I just double-checked the rules because that seemed dumb, and I was wrong. You actually can pass the car who got the yellow flag. So they're both there in fifth, which means I'm definitely going to get fourth place, I think. Should not have overplayed my hand. All right, green comes in second. Yellow comes in third. Orange is in worse shape than me. Finally, I limp across the finish line. Well, or do I? Let's roll one at a time. Yes. No. Oh my gosh. Oh, good thing I have 3 left to not roll those. So, fourth place finish. Pretty bad with 2 crashes. So there you go. That was Rallyman GT, both the official solo time trial rules and DrWorm's solo AI cars. And a reminder that Rallyman Dirt is on Kickstarter for at least a few more days. I've played the demo they have online quite a bit, and I really like it. It's basically multiplayer time trials where you might catch up to each other, but usually you're kind of racing the track your way. Click the link that just popped up if you'd like to hear my review of the official solo mode. That's what I'll focus on at least. Good gaming, and we'll see you at the next stop.